Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm doing a Gadget deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Wesley. And this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scratched in every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. And definitely give Wesley some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Green Gadget. Green Gadget is definitely a 3 of, and I absolutely love that they've printed these cards in the most recent 10 all as quarter century rares, printing all of the original gadgets as QCRs, which is amazing. But this card has the ability that when this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add a red gadget from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Red Gadget. Red Gadget is definitely a 3 of as well, because when this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a copy of Yellow Gadget from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Yellow Gadget. Yellow Gadget is an amazing 3 of as well in the deck to help you loot through your monsters, because when this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a copy of Green Gadget from your deck to your hand. So basically your copy of green searches red, red searches yellow, and yellow searches green, basically looping through all of them multiple times so we can summon out a bunch of monsters to our side of the field so we can go in for game. We then play 2 copies of Gold Gadget. Gold Gadget is really cool in the deck as a 2 of because this card has the ability to just help you extend your plays. So when this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck, except another copy of this card, which is a great effect to help us get 2 monsters out on our side of the field so we can basically go in for our XZ plays. We then play 2 copies of Silver Gadget. Silver Gadget is an amazing 2 of in the build that basically does the exact same thing as your copy of Gold Gadget, and it's just a really awesome card to play in the deck that you're basically just playing 4 extenders in the build. We then play 3 copies of Anchor Drill. Anchor Drill is definitely a 3 of in the build, and this card helps out so much to help us go in for rank 8 plays, because it has the effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually special summon an Earth Machine monster from your hand in defense position, except another copy of this card, basically summoning out one of your gadget monsters, of the original gadget monsters. This card also has the ability you can target one of the machine monster that you control, and the level of both that monster and this card become the combined original levels of the 2 monsters until the end of the turn, basically letting you turn this card and a copy of a gadget monster into level 8 monsters so you can go in for rank 8 plays, which is super cool. We then play 3 copies of an extremely spicy tech card that I'm actually going to lay face down, and we're going to play Guess That Card. This card is an extremely spicy tech card, and definitely comment down below what you think this card actually is to be able to play Guess That Card. This card is so cool and just a really spicy tech card that I actually don't think you guys are going to guess. So we're going to go ahead and reveal this card in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and hit that bell so you can become part of notification squad because we're on the road to 100k subscribers. So every subscriber counts. Let's go ahead and see what this card actually is. And this card is actually going to be 3 copies of Fossil Dyna. I guarantee you guys did not guess this. This card is actually really spicy in the deck, so we actually focus on normal summoning our monsters out to our side of the field. And this card can lock down your opponent extremely easily, especially with the Morganite cards we're playing in this deck, and the other spicy tech cards I'm playing in this build to help you protect your copy of Fossil Dyna. But this card basically has the effect that neither player can special summon monsters, and when this card is flipped face up, destroy all special summon monsters on the field, which is a really powerful effect to be able to use, especially when you combine this card with cards like Time Tearing Morganite, the new Morganite, and even Clockwork Knight, and some of the other cards we're playing in this build. But this card is amazing in this deck just to help you lock down the field, because we mainly focus on normal summoning out our gadget monsters to our side of the field so we can go in for game. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir is really cool in the deck as a 3-up that you always want to special summon first, because this card has the ability if you don't control a monster, you can special summon this card in your hand, search another copy of itself from your deck to your hand, and also spot remove cards off the field, which is so cool to be able to do. And since we can't play hand traps in this build, since we are playing the Morganite cards in this deck, this card is really good to instantly special summon out to your side of the field and use its effects, and then normal summon out your copy of your Fossil Dynam to help you lock down the board. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is an amazing 1-up in the deck to basically just summon out your copy of Utopia Double, detach your material from Utopia Double to summon out a copy of your original copy of Utopia on top of Utopia Double. Once you do, Utopia will come in at 5,000 attack points. You can then attack it into opponent's monster, negate its attack with its own effect, drop Double or Nothing, and swing back in for 10,000 attack points. And if your opponent's monster is in attack position and it has less than 2,000 attack points, you're going to OTK your opponent for a perfect 8,000 damage. So this card is really good in the deck, because we basically just make a bunch of rank 4s. So this card is really cool in the build. We then play 3 copies of Succumbing Song Morganite. This card is amazing, and I absolutely love it for gadgets, because this card has the ability that for the rest of the duel you apply the following effects. That you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, which is totally fine. We just don't play hand traps that are monsters in this build. Also, monsters you control can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase, so we can OTK. And if your monster battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled, which is a really powerful effect to help you OTK your opponent. Also, this card has the ability you can banish this card from the graveyard to add a Morganite card from your deck to your hand, then place a card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, just helping you search out the original copy of Time Tearing Morganite. We then play 2 copies of Time Tearing Morganite. Time Tearing Morganite is really cool as a 2-of in the deck, but you only need 2 copies in the build because your copy of Succumbing Song Morganite can actually search it from your deck to your hand by banishing it from your graveyard. This card is really cool because it shares the same ability that for the rest of the duel you apply the following effects. That you cannot activate monster effects in the hand. You draw 2 cards instead of 1 during your normal draw phase, but the main effect that I love about this card in gadgets is you get to conduct 2 normal summons or sets, not just 1, which is great to be able to do to basically just summon out a gadget, search a gadget, and then normal summon out an additional gadget, guaranteeing we're going to go in for a rank 4 play, or get 2 monsters on our side of the field to OTK. This card is amazing in the build and just really helps out in the deck overall. We then play 3 copies of Moon Mirror Shield. Moon Mirror Shield is a great way to protect your copies of your Fossil Dyna in the deck, is to make sure that your copy of your Fossil Dyna is always going to have 100 attack points more than the highest attack point monster on the field, making this card a definite 3-of in the deck, and just such a powerful card to be able to play in the build. We then play 3 copies of Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is really cool in the build as a 3-of because all face-up monsters on the field become machine monsters. And machine monsters that you control gain 500 attack and defense. Also, machine monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use to basically give a gap of about 1,000 attack points between our opponent's monsters and our monsters. This card also has the ability you can banish this card from the graveyard and then discard a card to add an Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand, but you can only use 1 effect of this card per turn and only once that turn. You can either activate this card or banish from the graveyard. You cannot get both. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is definitely a 3-of in the build since we cannot activate monster effects in the hand for the rest of the duel after we activate our Morganite cards. Infinite Impermanence is just a really good hand trap to be able to negate your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. We then play 3 copies of Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge is also a really good hand trap that basically is like Ash Blossom, and this card is really good in the build because it has the ability if your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. And when a card effect is activated that includes an effect that adds a card from the deck to the hand, negate that effect, and if you have a trap card in the graveyard like Infinite Impermanence, destroy that card. And if you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Dark dark, water, or fire monsters for the rest of the duel, which is totally fine because in the main deck, all we play is earth and light. So this card is really good in the deck to basically just use this card to use it basically like a trap version of Ash Blossom, so we can still use our copies of Morganite while still having hand traps in the build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with Giganta X. Giganta X is definitely a 2-of in the build, because this card has the ability you can detach a material from this card, and then add a level 4 or lower machine monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect to instantly grab one of our monsters from our deck to our hand. We then play a single copy of Bagooska. Bagooska is really good just in case you need to slow down the game and summon this card out to your side of the field. Plus, if you're going first, this card is great to be able to summon out to your side of the field in defense position to just slow down the game so we can go in for the OTK on the follow-up. We then play a single copy of Heavy Armored Train Iron Wolf. This card is great in the deck to help you OTK, and I'll be going for a copy of Zeus because it has the ability once per turn you can detach a material from this card, then target a machine type monster you control, and this turn it can attack your opponent directly. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack. And if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card by a battle by card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can add a level 4 machine type monster from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty cool effect. With my steel copy of Daigusto Emerald, Daigusto Emerald just helps us recycle our gadget monsters back into our deck so we can just summon them out and keep searching gadget monsters. We then play a single copy of Chakanine and a single copy of Borbo. This is just so we can make our copy of Zeus by attacking directly with our copy of Chakanine and Borbo, which just makes it super easy to go in for a game to give us multiple lines to go in for a copy of Zeus, and I really like these cards in the deck. We then play a single copy of Utopia Double. Utopia Double is great in the deck to be able to make this card, search out Double or Nothing, and then summon out a copy of Utopia on top of our copy of Utopia Double. It will come out at 5,000 attack points, and then you can just basically swing, negate its attack, and then drop Double or Nothing to go back in for a perfect 10k, so we can go in for game, but you have to attack into a monster. You can't attack directly with your copy of Utopia Double. We then play a single copy of Dragobolon. Dragobolon is really good because we do play Anchor Drill, so we can easily make rank 8 plays in this deck, and this card is just really good overall in the build. Either summon out number 38, which is a spell negate, or number 100, which is an OTK, because this card comes out at usually about 9,000 attack points, so we can swing in for game. We then play a single copy of F-Zero. F-Zero is great, so we can step into a copy of Utopic Draco Future. Utopic Draco Future is really good in this deck, because this card is a walking negate, plus we pretty much only play XZs in the deck, so this card is really good overall. We then play a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is great in the deck, so we can basically just board wipe the field, and it's such a powerful card in the deck to just board wipe the field and deal with everything on our opponent's side of the field. So that's it for the deck, guys. I would enjoy this deck. Is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played gadgets before, you should definitely give this build a try, especially with the Morganite cards, because they're so cool to be able to play the gadgets to give you multiple normal summons and just let them attack multiple times and do double damage. And definitely give us a like, guys, for all the QCR gadgets. So that's gonna do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come to our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.